Hello friends, welcome. Ashutosh again here. Today I'm going to discuss about the topic Prime Minister. What is Prime Minister? Prime Minister is the real executive authority of the India. We can say that the President is the head of the state while Prime Minister is the head of the government. Means India has the parliamentary system. So parliamentary system means Prime Minister should be the head of the constitution or should be the head of the country. So that's why he is the real executive authority of the India. The constitution does not contain any specific procedure for the selection and the appointment of the prime minister, but still, yep, there is an article 75 says that the prime minister shall be appointed by the president. As per the constitution, president has to appoint the leader of the majority in the Lok Sabha as the prime minister. When no party has a clear majority in the Lok Sabha, then the president may exercise his personal discretion. In such a situation, president usually appoints the leader of the largest party or coalition in the Lok Sabha as the prime minister. Okay, here one more thing is to to remember, like president cannot appoint anybody as a prime minister. No, there are some criterias, like a president may exercise his personal discretion in the case of no clear majority, and in this case he may appoint or he can appoint the leader of the largest party. Either he has a majority or not, but yes, he can appoint the leader of the largest party or coalition in the Lok Sabha as the. See, what happened when president appoints anybody like a leader of the largest party in the Lok Sabha as a prime minister without majority. So what happened? President may ask him. I'm sorry, not may. President can. This is a right of president because it will be against the constitution if president will not do this. So president can ask him to seek a vote of confidence in the house within a month. This discretion was exercised by the president for the first time in 1979 when Mr. Nilima Sanjeev Reddy, the then president, appointed Mr. Chaudhry Charan Singh. Mr. Chaudhry Charan Singh, he was the coalition leader at that time, as the Prime Minister of the India. After the fall of the Janata Party government, and the Janata Party government at that time was headed by Mr. Morarji Desai. So this was the case, and this was the first case, and the second case was like what happened when Indira Gandhi was assassinated in 1984. That time the then president Mr. Gyani Jail Singh appointed Mr. Rajiv Gandhi as a prime minister by ignoring the precedent of appointing a caretaker prime minister. Like he had to appoint a caretaker prime minister, but rather appointing a caretaker prime minister, he had appointed Mr. Rajiv Gandhi as a full-time, means a working prime minister. Although after that Congress party was also adopted him as his prime minister and as his leader, but at that particular time Gyani Jail Singh had rights to do, and he had to appoint a caretaker prime minister, but he didn't. So these are the two cases where a particular person, a leader of the largest party in the Lok Sabha, had no majority, but still president appointed the persons. See what happened in 1980. The Delhi High Court gave a decision and said that the constitution does not require that a person must approve his majority in the Lok Sabha before he is appointed as the prime minister. But it means president first appoint him as the prime minister and then ask him to prove his majority within a reasonable period. And there were another decision by the Supreme Court in 1997. Supreme Court said that a person who is not a member of either of the House of the Parliament can be appointed as the Prime Minister for 6 months. But here is a condition: within the period, within 6 months of the time, he should become a member of either member of the House. Means constitutionally, Prime Minister may be a member of any of the two houses of the Parliament. Again, in this page, I will discuss about the powers and the functions of the Prime Minister, like what are the powers of the Prime Minister. So before I begin with the powers of the Prime Minister, I'll discuss with the one basic point, that is salary and allowances of the Prime Minister. So salary and allowances of the Prime Minister are determined by the Parliament from time by time. He gets the salary and allowances that are payable to a member of a Parliament. Means as a Prime Minister he doesn't have any salary. Means a Prime Minister has no salary. He get only salary as a member of the Parliament. Next, Prime Minister recommends person who can be appointed as a minister by President. President can appoint only those persons as a minister who are recommended by the Prime Minister. Means there is a foundation from the both sides. Prime Minister recommend the persons who can be appointed as a minister, and President can appoint only those persons as a minister who are recommended by the Prime Minister. Next one is he allocates and reshuffles the various portfolios among the ministers, like whatever the ministers has been appointed by the President of the India and recommended by the Prime Minister of the India. So Prime Minister has the powers to allocate the portfolios, and also he can reshuffle them. Portfolios means the ministries, defense, external affairs and others. Since the Prime Minister stands at the head of the Council of Ministers, the other ministers cannot function when the Prime Minister resign or die. Means till the time Prime Minister is available, no other ministers can function as a Prime Minister or like a Prime Minister, right? This is against the Constitution. Next, the resignation or death of the other ministers, on the other hand, merely creates a vacancy which the Prime Minister may or may not like to fill. Means it's not mandatory if any minister died or he's no more with the particular ministry. So it's up to on the Prime Minister. Either Prime Minister, he is the principal channel of the communication between the President and the Council of the Ministers. Means he is the only one who can communicate with the President on the behalf of the Council of Ministers. If is there any problem on any portfolio and anything to discuss, then he is the only medium. It is the duty of the Prime Minister to communicate all decisions of the Council of the Ministers relating to the administration of the affairs of the Union. Means it's the duty of the Prime Minister to communicate all the decisions of the councils of the ministers relating to the administration. Communicate to whom? Communicate to the President of the India. He advises the President with regard to the appointment of the important officials like Attorney General, CAC, Comptroller and Auditor General of the India, Chairman and the member of the UPSC, Election Commissioner, Chairman and members of the Finance Commission, and so on. Means he advised to the President with regard to the appointment of these officials. And these officials are appointed by whom? Appointed by the President of the India. There is no role of the Prime Minister in this apart the suggestions. Next one is he can recommend dissolution of the Lok Sabha to the President at any time. Generally it's not happened, but when he has no majority in the House, then he can recommend to the President to dissolve the Lok Sabha. He also announces government policies on the floor of the House, like he is the only person who can announce the government policies on the House, and he can address the House. Prime Minister is the chairman of the Planning Commission. Then Planning Commission now is Niti Aayog, and also he is the chairman of National Development Council, Interstate Council and National Water Resource Council. Means he is the chairman of these 4 institutions. Next one is he is the chief spokesperson of the Union government. He is the crisis manager in chief at the political level during the emergencies. Like during the emergency, he is the manager in chief. He is the leader of the nation and leader of the party in power. He is the political head of the services, and he plays significant role in shaping the foreign policies of the country. Like there is a difference, external affairs ministers, but time by time Prime Minister also visit to the country and signs the MOU. And article related to the Prime Ministers are 74, 75 and 78. Means about the about the Prime Minister, these are the only articles mentioned in the Indian Constitution. Here something very important, chief ministers who became prime ministers. Like first one was Mr. Morarji Desai, and he was the chief minister of Bombay Presidency. And one more thing, he was the first non-Congress prime minister. This is a very important question. Who was the first non-Congress prime minister? So Morarji Desai was the first non-Congress prime minister. And next, Mr. Chaudhary Charan Singh, he was the chief minister of the Uttar Pradesh. And Mr. VP Singh, he was also from Uttar Pradesh, and he was the chief minister of the Uttar Pradesh. And next was Mr. P.V. Narasimha Rao, he was the chief minister of Andhra Pradesh, and also he was the first prime minister from the South India. H.D. Dev Gowda, he was the chief minister of the Karnataka. And last, alright friends, that's it with the Prime Minister. Thanks for watching, thanks for your time. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and you can see on your screen here is my contact details. My contact number is 8687293222. You can WhatsApp me if is there any query and questions, and also you can mail me on bajpai.ashutosh@findex.com. Thank you once again, thanks from bottom of my heart, thanks for your time. And last thing, don't forget to subscribe the channel if you like this video. Then please hit the like button also, as well as please share this video on your Facebook.